Excellent ethos. So today I want to welcome you to TPIRC, your cybernetics organization. This is your company. This is who you work for. This is where we're going. And that's a cool graphic that's on our website now, by the way. So this is really, really key, because if we don't understand this, it's going to be really hard to understand where we're going next with this company. This is a cybernetics company. What does cybernetics mean? By definition, it is the science of communications and automatic control systems in both machines and living things, based on the Oxford Dictionary. Does that sound familiar? Pretty reasonable way to describe the company? It's pretty fair, right? So we are clearly a cyber company, period. How are we cyber? We have over 19 active software systems in our company. Whether you're on the admin side, you're on the clinical side, you're on the facility side, it doesn't matter. We are using literally over 19 active software systems. That's complicated, but we do a great job because we're able to integrate those folks, right? We actually build the integrations. We write that software, write the communication up, so one group knows what the next group's doing, one knows what the next group is doing. That's the loop around the patient life cycle. We are also cyber because we have almost 40 active enterprise workflows. That's what we build. These are some of those laserfish models that we're using, the reaction tracking system. Think about that. We are literally able to push workflows forward to know that everyone's doing not only what they should be doing, but to make sure they do it in the most efficient way possible. And in the end, you have a better schedule, better work-life balance. It's also better for the patients. This, again, is a critical concept that makes us cyber. We also own 8 entirely unique databases. Now, in the world of data democratization, where people sell data and all that, we don't play that game. But this type of data is what allows us to make new decisions, run the best type of quality control, actually develop new forms of AI. So this type of database management is absolutely critical to the function of this company. We have over 18 applied mathematical models. We have applied mathematicians now on site. We have teams, of course, that are off-site as well. So without all of this cyber aspect to our company, we would not be where we are. We certainly would not have survived the pandemic in the way we did. And we have 2 active AI builds right now. One of our AI builds is a neural network. The other AI build is a pure mathematical network. This is where we are as a cyber company. This is how we grow forward. And indeed, if we do this right, the cyber side of growth is very complex. I don't know if you can actually see this. Hopefully you can. There you go. Basic things. How about a central supply chain? We're actually very fortunate we made it through the pandemic from a supply chain standpoint. Whether it was from the clinical standpoint of just staying safe to some of the food-based aspects, it has been very difficult. However, if you can dial in with your integrated cyber model, when you're down to the last drop or the last milligram or gram of something, you can plan way ahead. You can contract way ahead. You can make sure you always have your supply chains intact. This is being built right now. Cyber growth also allows you to do end-to-end. We're trying to do an end-to-end label tracking methodology here. So basically, people come in, patients come in, we know their information right at the start. That turns into unique QR codes and label scans. That allows us to get patients all the treatment they need, all in one system, drop shipped to their home, and they know everything that's going on in one single method. This is what cyber allows us to do. Robotics. Soon enough, we're going to be adding a significant amount of robotics to the food lab because we have to manufacture large amounts of proteins over time. This can't be done manually. We want to reduce the amount of human-to-human checkpoints. We still need a lot of the human experience, but the more robotics, the better. Guess what robots work on? They work on software. They work on data. So this is how we can improve things here. Automation. Automation is something that we're already using. The best example is doc response. Right? Those of you in the clinical side, doc response allows patients to know where they should be coming, when they can come inside the actual facility. It'll even ping them and tell them when they should leave their hotel or where their home is to come in on time. That is a form of automation. That makes things efficient and makes sure we don't make mistakes, and man, it saves a whole heck of a lot of time. Cyber growth also allows us to change the way we ship. We've been working on this quite a bit. We can even do better. We spend a lot of money shipping things, by the way, out of this company. So these are the kinds of things that we want to use our innate technologies to reduce costs and improve patient, I'd say, satisfaction from that standpoint. Absolutely critical. Infection control. We're at a point now, to be fair, do we need to run IDAP as strictly as we do? I mean, they all have been vaccinated, right? I mean, we haven't had an on-site transmission. Well, guess what? Because we run such tight infection control with so much data, we can wind that down. We can start saying, all right, let's go ahead and reduce our biovisual use to every hour or maybe every 2 hours, and let's track our data. Perhaps we can say, all right, we're going to go to a 50% mask mandate, within our organization. I'm not saying we're going to do that right now, but the beauty is we can actually make that happen and study the results and be so nimble. Cannot be done if you're not a cyber organization. This is a big thing. We're at a point now where so many of our patients get frustrated not having access to certain foods. We want to create a co-op that's basically allowing bulk purchase. So if we need to capture the largest amount of mare's milk possible, we can purchase it, store it, make sure there's a system in place that's cyber-based so that when people order, they can order directly from us. We ship it, they have it, and it's all tied to their dosing strategics, right? This is the kind of stuff that being cyber allows us to do. Our patient app. Well, guess what? I've been talking about this patient app for a long time, and we will have a beta version of our patient app in 4 weeks, right? That's a big deal. So patient app is a big deal because every patient knows exactly what's going on in their case on their phone. That's huge, right? So it gets updated every time they come in for visits, every time there's a modification, it's updated, updated, updated. I'm not saying version 1 is going to be absolutely the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it will be exceedingly effective. We will build version 2 right as soon as we're done with version 1. This is only possible with cyber growth. Our EMR. So for the clinical world, that means electronic medical record. Very important. We don't want to use an external record system. We want to build it for our individual providers, our staff, and have it extend out to food lab and the diagnostics lab. This is a process we're working on in the next year. Absolutely critical as a cyber company to have our own form of EMR. Education, library, and examination. This is in the process of being built. Our providers now have taken one of their first certified exams. We're not trying to do this to kind of ping people, but it's important that we all know a baseline level of information, a fund of knowledge. We also want to test people to make sure they know what they need to know. So this will continue to grow over time. So individuals that we bring into this organization are fundamentally sound at understanding how our system works and have the baseline fund of knowledge to make sure they can be successful. And of course, the pod data dynamics, right? Where we launch these pods, our new facility in Willow will be basically 4 pods over time. We can now measure dollar per patient per square foot, how people move through our company. That's a remarkable thing in modern medicine. That allows us to make good decisions and grow as a total company. So, and the last point is data-targeted communication. This is something that has already been built. Brandon's been a part of that. This is one of those things where if we want to actually target a specific patient subgroup. So let's say I want to find 3-year-olds in New Jersey who are anaphylactic to egg white. We can target that group like that and send them specific information, specific messaging. That's already live. We're running those beta tests right now. This is why we are a cyber company.